like Carrie Bradshaw would do and type, and just like that, a 14-game losing streak was broken. We're very excited about today's show. It's Up and Adams, and I cannot believe. By the way, Chase Claypool's now a Dolphin. We'll dig into that. Dub Bears with Matt Forte. We've got Daniel Jones, quarterback of the Giants, trying to rebound. Tough one against Miami. You heard Wink Martindale yesterday. We have the quarterback for you today, and Nico Collins crushing it in year 3 as a Texan. It's all happening on a Friday. The math is mathing. 347 days, guys. It took 347 days, but Bears fans finally got to see a win last night. That's how long it had been. They crushed the Commanders. They took care of business 40-20 in Washington at FedEx Field. DJ Moore, the story of the game. And if you know me, if you watched me on Good Morning Football ever, and when he was with Carolina, I loved everything about him. Consistency, revolving door of quarterback, still puts up numbers, great temperament, career night. He put up 230 yards and 3 touchdowns, the second highest receiving total in Bears history, behind only Alshon Jeffrey, who put up 249 back in 2013. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen a more lopsided box score either. Justin Fields threw for 282 on the day. I'm smiling. I'm happy for Chicago here. Now, with those 230 yards going to DJ Moore, 42 going to Kmet, 10 going to Robert Tonyan, and that's it, by the way. The Bears didn't have another receiver catch a pass all night long, just funneling that to his receivers. DJ, sometimes you just gotta, what is it, KISS, keep it simple, stupid? You bring in this receiver, people wanna say, are you number one receiver? Feed him the rock. And he did, and it worked. And I remember some people trying to say that trade wasn't worthwhile and he's not enough of support for a guy like Justin Fields. But hopefully that puts some of the idiocy on the DJ Moore side to rest once and for all. He's an absolute star. And I'm so happy we all got to see him shine, especially under the lights of Thursday Night Football on Amazon, some primetime love for DJ. And in the wake of this, there was more breaking news. Here's the wave this morning. Chicago's moving on from Chase Claypool. We all saw that coming. They're swapping late rounders with the Dolphins. He's going to Miami, which is great. Put an end to all the drama. We knew it had to happen. It wasn't working out. Kind of a bitter pill to swallow for Bears fans, because they gave up that 32nd overall pick for the guy less than a year ago. But at least we can celebrate a win this morning. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about the fact that the Bears, of course, still have issues from up, down, and down, up. But by no means, I think that, they shouldn't be excited this morning. Back-to-back strong performances from Justin Fields. They're moving on from what became what looked like just a misfit between Chase Claypool and this team. And they get an emotional win and an emotional night for Bears fans following the sudden passing of a legend, Dick Butkus. So we're going to dig into that with Matt Forte in a moment. We'll talk Dick Butkus, we'll talk Justin Fields, we'll talk DJ Moore, we'll talk Chase Claypool. I do want to talk about the Commander side of things for a minute here as well. We talked about it before the game. It's mind-blowing what is going on with this defense. This was the number 2 defense in the NFL last year. We hit it on the show. This year, they've been the second worst. It's bizarro, okay? I mean, they're almost allowing as many points per game as the Broncos, who had 70 dropped on them 2 weeks ago. What? So you have all that talent. You've got, a renowned veteran defensive coordinator in Jack Del Rio, and it doesn't make any sense that they have not played to the potential that they did last year and just to the actual production. The thought going into this season was, we have this great defense. So if Sam Howell's just middling, just average, just control the ball, Baker Mayfield it, Jimmy Garoppolo, we can make the playoffs it. Well, Sam has been amazing. How? He's crushing it. He's exceeded expectations. He completed 13 straight to start the second half, somehow made this thing a game for a brief moment, and then he finished with 388 on the day. Who did I tell you would be the fantasy sleeper this year but Sam Howell? So he's made a share of young quarterback type mistakes, sure, but he's been balling for most of the season despite being put in some tough positions. So he's not the problem. Washington's found something at quarterback, so that answer for the fans has been solved. Now the rest of the team's got to get it together. And I'll say this, I'm not ready to write the Commanders off. I believe in what they have in that building, especially with the new ownership, but something has to change here or the season is going to slip away from them in a hurry. Okay, well, let's go to our YouTube chat and see what's going on. Okay, I got the heads up that Forte is not quite ready. So let's see. What's your expectations of Justin Fields? And have they changed last night? Okay, I will ask Matt that, I promise. Don't sleep on the Bears. Okay, I don't know about that one. Are Bears fans happy? Are you guys enjoying this? If you guys have a Dick Butkus memory or play you guys want to hit me up in the chat about, that would be great. Why is nobody talking about the DJ Moore catch on the sideline that Al Michaels and them ignored? Prime ignored. Hamilton, what's he talking about?
So there was a play in the third quarter where it looked like DJ Moore scored another touchdown. It actually would have given him the Bears' all-time single-game receiving record, and the refs ruled him out. We never saw a good replay of it. On the broadcast, it looked like he clearly stayed in. I actually just watched the tape of it this morning because the All-22 got posted, and you could see from the end zone view it's a lot closer than it looked on TV, and that heel might have been out. So there was a lot of outrage over it last night. It does look like it might have actually been the right call.
Well, here's what we have on today's show, guys. We have Daniel Jones joining us. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thanks for being in the chat and keeping us going here on a Friday. So Hamilton and I are going to London. As we're waiting for our guy Forte to rejoin, Hamilton and I are going to London. We're going to go to this Bills-Jags game. And I think you're going to be the mascot. That the Jaguar in the thong is going to be you.
Way to spoil the surprise, Kay. Come on. I was trying to hold that one.
I don't quite know what we're doing. I was like, can I just talk to everyone in Ted Lasso? That's all I want. Those are the guests that I want on the show. Next week, I don't know. Okay, our parlay didn't hit last night, guys. Wonky, wobbly. Wasn't our best work.
Yeah, that was a tough one last night. We got two of the legs. We got Cole Kmet, and we got Sam Howell with 388 yards. Got way over that 225.
I think we got a little boasty. I think we got a little like, we've hit 11 of 12 legs. We're so great. I think that did not service us very well at all. Okay, we're gonna get Matt Forte on. I appreciate the comments, guys. Amazing. Live in London. Yeah, I guess we're going. I think there's like a baggage handling strike as well. So I'm going to be wearing this outfit the whole time.
Yeah, so you can't bring your 4 suitcases like usual.
Why would I bring suitcases if I can go to the Top Shop and buy a pink velour suit that I'll never wear again? That happened last time I was in London with Matt Hamilton. We went stress shopping. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little audible here. We caught up with Daniel Jones yesterday. I thought it was his best appearance that we've had, and after the toughest challenge and the toughest game. 11 sacks. I'm sure he's got lots going on, but here he is on Seattle, tablets. And did his best buddy, Eli Manning, reach out after that loss? Take a look. How are you?
I'm doing good. Ready to get back to it. Been a good week of practice so far, so locked in and ready to go.
From a physical standpoint, and because there are those two parts of this, physical and mental. I mean, 11 sacks. Have you ever felt worse after a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely had some physical games and part of it. So yeah, part of playing the position, part of playing football. But I'm feeling good and getting ready to go this week.
And there was some good, 27 of 34 from the pocket. You led the team in rushing. Your first drive was off to a good start. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, just not enough good. Obviously we weren't consistent enough at any point. And then when you turn the ball over 3 times, it's going to be tough to win. So those were key plays. And obviously big mistakes on my part that I can't afford to let happen. So yeah, I think that was a big difference in the game, and we've got to find I've certainly got to do that better and give us a chance to win.
I got to tell you, and I know you block out the noise so you don't hear any of this, but it's fascinating. Things aren't going your way right now, but this New York fan base is so for you. They're really behind you. I want you to know that they're protecting the home. I'm not saying it. They are. They're saying it. And that's very rare there. And it does not happen. What do you want your Giants fan base to know right now?
Well, I think, we're obviously frustrated and we're not happy with how we've been playing, the results on the field. And that we take that obviously super, super seriously, and we're working as hard as we possibly can to get it right. We're confident we're going to get it right and get it back on the right track. So we got the guys to do it. We got the player, from the talent standpoint, we got it. We got the right type of guys from the character standpoint, and we believe in one another. We believe in what we're doing here. So we're going to get it right, and we're working like hell to do it.
Well, we're going to flip the page here in a minute to this week. I know you've been working so hard focusing on that pretty much every second of the day, I can imagine. The you and Dable on the sideline thing, that was all over. The poor tablet, Daniel. What the hell did the tablet do to y'all?
The tablet's fine. It was just a little flip. It wasn't much of a throw. That was all overblown.
Okay. So explain that. Because I'm fascinated by obviously what everybody saw, but that's like Dable how he is. But why is it overblown?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just know the guy, and he's a fiery, passionate guy. That's part of what makes him so good as a coach, and so that's his communication style, and I didn't take anything other than that from it. So I think people and a lot of eyes and people see that, but it's part of his communication, and it's all good. We're all frustrated. At that point, and it was a costly mistake that I can't afford to make.
So how does it go in the locker room? Like that happens, the game finishes, you took your licks, whatever the whole team did. You get back in a lot. Like how do two people move past that? Does Dable just come up to you? Did you come up to him? Like, do you guys just not even talk about it? How does that go? How does it fix itself?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to be fixed, really. Like I didn't take it personally. He called me the next day. I didn't even know it happened. I'm not on social media. I didn't see it.
Really?
Game. So, he called me the next day and just said, like, there's this thing going around and people are making a big deal about it. And yeah, I mean, I really didn't know about it before that. So, no, there was nothing there. And people were looking for things to do, looking for things to talk about. And we're all good. And I didn't take it personally.
It all comes with it, right? Who's the person you want after a loss like that or any bad loss? Who's the person you want to hear from? Like when you finally get to it and you turn your phone on, like the first person that you're hoping to hear from, or that who's that person for you?
I don't know, mostly my family, my mom and dad and family. I feel like they know me the best, giving me some good advice over the years. So probably that, and then, some coaches from the past as well. But yeah, probably my family first.
Did you hear from Eli this week?
I did, yeah.
Tell me about that.
I think mainly just encouragement and obviously no one's happy with how we're playing, and so just got to stay at it, keep working, and get this thing going back in the right direction.
Okay, so you got these Dolphins. They're 3-1. They're coming off a loss. They're hungry. They don't like the fact they lost to the Bills. They want to win. What specifically needs to click from the Daniel Jones vantage point offensively?
Well, I think we've had some good drives to start the game. But we haven't finished those drives in the end zone. So I think that's a big part of it. We gotta execute and finish, early in the game, when we have those opportunities. So that's a big key for us, certainly. And then just being consistent throughout the game with our execution, protecting the ball. I think that's a huge piece of it, especially when you're playing against an offense like the Dolphins, is protecting the ball and making sure we're doing everything we need to do from that standpoint. But we're excited. They're hungry. We're hungry too. So we're looking forward to it.
What do you like about Tua and what he's doing? He's a great story too.
I think in the times I've seen him play, the film I've watched, I think he throws with great anticipation and plays with great timing and rhythm, and knows where his guys are going to be. Throws it early before guys are out of breaks, and then gives them accurate throws they can catch and run with. So
never played him. You've never played him in the NFL. I think you were out, and then you never played him in college. You've never played Tua.
I haven't. No. Cool.
I'm excited about that. I'd be really excited if Saquon was playing. I know he's back at practice. How's he looking?
He's looking good. He's looking good, working hard to get back.
And Andrew Thomas, who I hope is the second coming of Trent Williams, how's he doing? A lot of pressure on Andrew Thomas.
He's doing good. He's working hard to get back,
Okay. Well, I hope I'm praying and putting all the good vibes out there. All right. How would you like to wrap the interview, Daniel? We'll leave it to you.
Why don't you go play a song on the piano?
Absolutely not. And on that note, we got the Giants and the Dolphins in Miami. Good luck to you, Daniel.
All right. Thanks, Kate.
Daniel Jones putting me on the spot to go play the piano. He told me he actually grew up playing the piano. So listen, I finally learned a fun fact about Daniel Jones, who's usually very reserved, plays it close to the vest. I appreciate, listen, he doesn't have to come on the show. He came, could not have been fun coming after such a loss, coming after 11 sacks. But he did, so I respect him a lot, and I hope that they do their thing. No better game to turn it around than this week up against Miami. All right, we have a real treat. One of my favorite players. I wish he was still playing, but now I can talk about the players who still are. Chicago gets a win, probably because they knew Matt Forte is coming on the Up and Adam show, so we can't lose and have that happen. We've got the legend hanging out with us after the break. Hey, Matt. Okay, no problem. Okay, YouTube, give me some questions for Mr. Forte. Okay. Yeah, that worked. That's perfect. Thanks for asking. All right, it's week 5 already. These are dudes who I think are going to score touchdowns this week. You play a little fantasy, you're watching the games on the couch. This is what I think. That guy, David Montgomery. We have Matt Forte on the show. David Montgomery used to be a Bear, but now he's got to do his thing. And he gets to do it against the Panthers. And they've had issues against the run all season long. He's been the battering ram at the goal line. He has 5 touchdowns in just 3 games that he's played this year. Then I like Gus the Bus, okay? The Ravens running back. Steelers have the second worst run defense in the league this year somehow. I think he punches one in at the goal line. And finally, let's go with Jamar Chase. He said, okay, I'm always open. Get me the ball. And then he had Zach Taylor say, I like that you said that. So we are seeing footage trickle in. Burrow looking a little healthier, putting out all the prayers out there. So I think Jamar finally finds the end zone for his first touchdown of the 2023 season. Now let's get you guys some, there's the K-Makers, David Montgomery, Gus Edwards, and now let's go to DF Yes. This is where I hit you with some of my daily fantasy plays that I like. You're trying to round out those rosters. Quarterback, I'm going for it. I'm going to go Zach Wilson, guys. I can't believe I did that. I forgot that I did that. The Broncos defense, they've been historically bad this year. If Zach plays the way he did last week or anything near it, he's a steal at 6,700 on FanDuel. And, you can pay for stars everywhere else. At running back, Joe Mixon, the Cardinals have allowed the 3rd most points to running backs. I think we see the Bengals try to lean on this run game a little more. And at receiver, Jordan Addison. Really nice value, quiet week, and he's going to go off. And I think a lot of the attention is going to be Justin Jefferson vibed. So I think that this plays out from the slot for this one. All right, there you guys have it. My DFS. The show will be back in just a few seconds. Oh, we are? This is a wonky situation here today, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm at my home studio, but we're hanging out, and we are joined now by, this is such a treat, one of the best dual threat running backs in all of NFL history. 10-year career where he accumulated over 4,000 scrimmage yards, 75 touchdowns. Please welcome Chicago Bears legend, 14,000 legend, if I said that wrong. Matt Forte, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? I was about to say 4,000. Wasn't that in like the first 3 years?
I just like cut it short by 10,000. It's not like you worked hard to get that 10,000, right? That wasn't hard work at all.
Easy work, light work.
What do you miss about the game, Matt? I haven't talked to you in a while. You're watching these games. What kind of stuff's getting into your head?
Everything, watching last night, watching the Bears play, and when a guy like DJ Moore and he scores multiple touchdowns. I remember having a game against the Commanders, but it wasn't the Commanders back then. But having 3 rushing touchdowns, how you celebrate that. You celebrate that hard work that you put in the off season and during camp, and it's a lot of fun. So on the other side of the game, you got to find those type of joys in other things like fatherhood or entrepreneurship, other things like that.
You're doing all sorts of stuff. I can't wait to hear about it. But you mentioned watching that game last night. And it's fun when you're winning. And this Bears team was not winning. You were part of winning teams. You were part of really high statistical seasons for yourself personally. That must have been really rewarding. So you're watching Justin Fields and DJ Moore have this amazing night. 4 touchdown passes for Fields, 230 yards, a career best for DJ Moore there, the #1 wide receiver. What did you see out of Fields?
I saw the composure that he's showed many times before. It's nothing new that we haven't really seen. I think I saw him in a comfort zone where he didn't look too mechanical, where he was in the pocket and felt, too pressured, or he was trying to stretch really hard to make a play. And, his passes were on point. You can see on that last touchdown of DJ Moore, it was just outside of the reach of the defensive back. And, he went forward and the guys made a play. So he's definitely in a zone where he can play at freedom. And that's the best way to play. When you feel like you're hindered by, the offense or the coaching sometimes. And, he made a statement earlier, but he wasn't really talking about that part. But when you feel too mechanical out there, it can hinder your game and you feel a little constricted. So they got to go out there and let them play, let them run, let them pass and call design runs and all of that.
And it clearly works. So I hope that they're listening to you and listening to him when it comes to that, and they were able to execute when he was able to be a little looser. Is he the long-term answer at quarterback for Chicago?
I think he's answered that question a long time ago. Even last year, I think he answered that question. Obviously, rushing for a lot of yards, and even though the passing yards aren't 300-yard games, 400-yard games every game, it doesn't have to be if you're complementing it with the rushing yards. But the only reason, the coaches get scared, I don't want him to run too much. He might get hurt and those things. First things first, he's got to be able to know how to get down and when to not get, when to take on defenders and not with that throwing arm. And then also we got to stack up front. Since I was there in the first year I played, 2008, year after year, we drafted offensive linemen and they never panned out. So we have to put guys up front that's really going to protect him and give him a pocket like he had last night. Because when you do that and you keep his feet clean, you see what he can do with the weapons that he has.
Are you around the team? Do you talk to them? Are you in the world of what's going on with the Bears? It seems like it.
Somewhat. I would probably like to be involved a lot more, as well as some of the other guys who were legends when we played, like Lance Briggs and Peanut Tillman, and I could go down the list. I think the alumni relations are definitely improving and getting better. I went to practice during camp this year and spoke with the running back group personally and gave them a lot of insight and wisdom. And I've often been called by some of the rookies when they get drafted. Roshan Johnson reached out to me as well and asked me a bunch of questions. I'm involved as much as they would like me to be. But, I think from the point of the perspective of a guy who's played a long time and in that position or with that specific particular team, we have a ton of guys that, still live in Chicago that would be willing to give their expertise towards technique, gameplay, just wisdom around the whole game, even scouting department when you're looking at a guy prospect coming in. So I think there's a lot of guys that are willing. It just has to be, are they willing to let us, take that type of role?
Matt, what's the problem?
I don't think there's any main problem. I like that, they've made a lot of changes up front. Ryan Poles was actually in my rookie draft class. He was a undrafted free agent, and we went to camp together as rookies and all of that. So I have a relationship with him. And then Kevin Warren, I've met him in the offseason as well during some of the Bears events. I think I met him first time at the gala that they had. And he actually came and spoke to me first, and I didn't have to go and, introduce myself or anything like that. And so that shows the change in leadership up there, that they're looking for that, type of relationship, and that, it takes a little bit of a time to, restore that bond that we've, all had with the team.
There's a lot of arguments. You mentioned the coaching and what they're doing with or without Fields. They're very smart to have you guys. And it's not really, it's not just scouting and tape and being a football player. Like, you're the best person, in my opinion, to go in there and talk to them about what being, what life is like off the field, how to, the best way to carry yourself and model yourself. That's always what you were in that Chicago locker room, and really the NFL always thought so. Do you think the Bears are doing enough from a coaching perspective to help Justin Fields?
Yeah, I do. I don't doubt that or question that there's, their lack of want to coach him and help him to become better. But sometimes it's almost like parenting. When you're always on your child, too much, then you start to hinder their freedom, where they get to learn the most through experience. And sometimes you can coach something on the field and during practice, and in the game, it turns out to be totally different. And so you have to coach those certain type of experiences that happen, to where you learn from the losses and you learn from the lessons, to where now if we're making mistakes, 2 and 3 and 4 times in a row, that's the same mistake. That's the difference. So we got to, watch film to, go out there and figure out, what do we do best? Let's do those things. And some of the things that our weaknesses, we're going to work on them, but we're going to emphasize what we do best, and not play scared. When you play out of fear, like fear of, this happening or that happening, you restrain, you put things back on the game. And so they got to go out there and not overcoach him. And I think that can be an issue at any time or any position, but especially the quarterback position. When you overcoach, they got a lot to think about. So if he's thinking too much, the natural talent where you have to react and you take off running or you make an instinctive play, that gets hindered. And that's when you separate yourself from being average to being really good to being great.
Yeah. And we saw him just go back. I said a kiss. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Like Bears, go back to basics. They did that. We saw it unfold last night successfully, with a little help from Ron Rivera's defense sort of not showing up in this one, but a big win for them. And we'll see what happens down the stretch. We just got to stack wins and do what they can. And I'm really glad Justin Fields was able to do it, because I've been having this joke for the past couple of weeks that we're going to have to say and apologize to Jay Cutler, Matt, because who knew that he was, as far as being a functional quarterback, maybe one of our best, and we don't know how good we have it as far as, surrounding him with talent like you and letting him throw the rock around.
Absolutely, man. Like, people would be always, harping on Jay for this and for that. And it's like, he was out there balling. Like, if you look back at the film and stuff, he wasn't getting a lot of protection either. I actually was back there blocking people I wasn't supposed to be blocking. I'm looking from one side to the other. I'm blocking defensive linemen. And, me and him would communicate back there. And, sometimes we'd be just like making up plays in the dirt, because we couldn't get enough, enough time sometimes to do stuff. So, like you said, keep it simple, stupid. Like, the Bears definitely, with the running backs that they do have, like, I know it's a passing league and the running back position is being devalued because, they saying that it's not really that useful anymore. But when you got guys who can, run the ball and catch it, and, I did it for a decade, and it was starting to be a passing league back then. You got to utilize a quarterback like Justin to be able to create holes in the defense. If you have the threat of him running the ball, that takes a guy out of the box. And as a running back who used to have 8 and 9 guys in the box every play, I would love to have that.
It's really well said, and we do apologize to you, Jay Cutler, just on behalf of everyone, not Matt, me, on behalf of anybody who ever gave you any grief, because you were to go out there and do your thing, no matter what your face looked like or whoever memed it with a cigarette in your mouth or whatever. I want to, before we move on, I want to talk about some running backs. You mentioned how they're being treated, how they're being valued. We'll get into some of that. But of course, wanted to extend my condolences to you as an all-time Bear on the loss of an absolute legend, a guy speaking of fear, who just struck fear in everyone who lined up across him or had to deal with him on Sundays. And it was also close to the organization. I understand you guys had an alumni event not too long ago where the great Dick Butkus, in all of his glory, participated. So tell me, just when, well, first of all, I'm sorry, but then what did he mean to you, to Chicago?
Yeah, the history of the Bears is so full and rich with guys on defense, offense, and special teams every phase. And so, it's a sad, day that, Dick Butkus had passed away, but we did have an alumni event before the Packers game, the day before the Packers game at the beginning of the season, where we got to see, there's a lot of the 85 Bears, the championship team that come around still there, and a lot of guys that I played with and we were in the locker room together. And it's a great event to continue to, have those relationships, see guys that you haven't seen in a long time, and, ask them how they're doing in the transition out of the game. And it's a way to continue that Bears bond and that strong family kind of atmosphere of the locker room. And so some of the guys, you see that you haven't seen in like 3, 4, 5 years, and then you see them and it's almost like you never left the locker room. So it's a sad day, obviously, in Bears history, but his legacy is submitted and will always be remembered as one of the, toughest, guys who set the tone for as far as Bears football and monsters of the Midway, but also how our defense should be playing out there.
He was a monster of the Midway. Is there somebody who sort of instilled that kind of feeling in you, like that Dick Butkus, I can't believe I have to go against this guy today? Who was sort of the guy who, didn't instill fear in you, but you were like, oh man, here he is?
Well, it had to be most of the guys that I went against every day, because when I was playing in Lovie Smith's defense, we had Hall of Fame guys across the board. We had Tommy Harris, we had Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, Peanut Tillman, Mike Brown, guys across the board who legit Hall of Fame talent. So I'm going against them every day. And it's like, man, I got to practice against these guys. But it also made me better, made me a better player, made me a better, gave me a better work ethic. I also watched those guys to see how they practiced, what they did on the field, what they did off the field. And I kind of took suit and added those things to my game to where it made me improve season after season. Because I've always told a lot of the rookies when they come in and they ask me about, NFL and all that stuff, I was like, anybody can really have a good season, put together one good season. But once they know you and they scheme and plan and actually draw up plays to stop you, can you reinvent yourself to continue to be consistent and to be a good player? And that's the difference.
A lot of comments in our YouTube section here saying, I think Forte would still kill it in the league even now. He was one of the best players I ever saw pound that rock. Lots of love for you, of course, reminiscing on those great days with the Bears. But listen, let's give some love to these running backs. They need our help. This is the PR firm of Matt Forte and Kay Adams, because some of these running you can't win with a running back. I don't know. Christian McCaffrey, 4 touchdowns, looks pretty good. Bijan Robinson looks pretty good. Who do you like? Who's sticking out to Matt Forte in this 2023 NFL?
Yeah, you just said it. Bijan looks amazing out there. And it was known since he was at Texas when he was coming out, watching film, they're like, this guy's going to be, a great talent. And they're getting him the ball in space, and he's making, when it's not in space and there's 2 defenders, he's making guys, tackle each other. And so, Christian McCaffrey, who's been around in the league for a while and had a few injuries, he's getting a lot of good work out there in San Francisco, and he's doing well. So even David Montgomery, you saw him, on one of the games against the Packers, and he's scoring touchdowns and running hard, and he's going to be hard for us to stop, because I know he's going to be amped up for the game to play against his former team. So, but yeah, just the respect for the running back position. I think guys just need to take the reins and say, you know what, when it comes down to the franchise tag, because I went through the franchise tag as well. And the price was a little different back then, but they got to take, a business decision. When it comes down to the game and when you have a lack of production, the team will take a business decision and they'll get rid of you or find somebody or replace you. when you're overproducing or you produce above and beyond what's expected or what you were drafted as, you got to go back to the table. And if they say no and they franchise you, you got to use your business sense and say, you know what, I'll sign the franchise tag, but you won't see me out there playing in any games. And so y'all give me the franchise tag for no production. And that's the only leverage you have. So if y'all want to play hardball and you want to do the running back position like that, you have to do that if you want to see everybody behind you be successful and then respect that position. You use your talent in the best way possible, and then you use your business sense as well.
And they're doing it. They're sort of, loosely unionizing and having each other's back and all of that. But, the market sort of set its value. I remember the Pay Forte shirts.
Yeah.
I remember 2011. Do you? I'm sure you do. I remember the Pay Forte and then the franchise tag, and then you came to terms before the season. Like, I don't know. I'm sure you're so passionate about this and you lived through it. When you look at the Jonathan Taylor situation, how do you think he handled it? What advice would you give him?
I think he has handled it well, where you don't have to say a lot. I mean, his production speaks for itself. I mean, the dude is a touchdown machine, and it's just disheartening to see that a guy can go out there and you want to, it's almost a catch-22, because you want to go out there and support your team. You want to show that you deserve this, but you really don't have to prove yourself to the team. They know you can handle it. They know you're a good player or a great player. It's just when it comes down to money, they don't value the running back position. And so my advice to him would be, continue to stand your ground. And like I said, when it comes to, the franchise tag or things like that, like when you said 2011 and the Pay Forte shirts, those were legitimate, because at that time I was leading the league in rushing, and the punter on the team making $3 million more than I was. And we lead the league in rushing, so we're not using the punter. So, you definitely, you have to make your case. And when you make your case and it's valid, you stand on that. And that type of thing calls for, a lot of times when you're going through business situations and stuff, like when we can switch sports, you go to basketball. Drew Holiday just got traded without any notification. And his family had roots there. Your kids got friends and they go to school and stuff, but the team don't care about that. So when people say, oh, it's just business. So when the player goes and makes a business decision, fans got to realize he's making the best decision for him and his family as well. And so when it comes to leverage, if your leverage is, I'm gonna sign the franchise tag, or you get franchised, and you're not gonna get production out of it, but my pockets will be filled, but you're not gonna get production. So my advice actually to all running back, college, high school, all of that, work on your catching, work on your, you're a natural runner. Work on pass blocking, work on catching, because when you catch the ball, I had over almost 5,000 receiving yards. One year had 100 catches. Most of those catches aren't downfield. Like, most of those catches are 10, 15 yards. If I catch a fade, 20, 30 yards. Most of them are screens, which are, a 1 yard, 0 yard, or almost a negative pass, but you catch it and you take off. So, when you can be utilized, sometimes the running game, you go out there, you only get 10 rushes, you only get 12 or 15 touches in the run game. But if you get 8, 9, 10 catches, that's 25 touches total. So then you just continue to amount that yardage, just like all of the extended handoffs.
It's beautifully said, and we're going to clip this off and put it on Twitter for all of those. They're young running backs, and the guys who were in the college game, and of course the guys in the NFL. And it's kind of happened to Saquon. Like, Saquon's trying to stand on his performance, and his case is strong because he's not out there, and they're failing without him. The Giants are getting lit up. Saquon is what makes that offense go. We all saw it play out last year, but it feels like that's what's concerning to me. Like, these players are losing leverage with the tag, and it shouldn't be like that. So interesting words from Matt Forte. And I have a Forte jersey. It was my first jersey I ever had in the NFL, of course. And you've sold plenty of them to Bears fans and people who love fantasy football and just love the game. But now you've got a new athleisure line. So you mentioned entrepreneurship when we kick this off. Talk to me about Workhorse, which is coming out. Okay, Matt.
Yeah. You see, I still got it in me. working out is a lifestyle. And so as you can see, the Workhorse logo right here will be coming out pretty soon before the end of the year. You can check out my Instagram, mforte22, for updates on that. And I'll have athleisure clothes. As a dad right now, and one who is physically fit, but also active, I have to, run to meetings and run to pick up kids and do all kind of other stuff. So sometimes you need to have that functional type of workout gear that, after you leave the gym, or if you had to rush to go get the kids and you're ready to go straight to the gym, you already got your leisure athletic clothes on. So I'll be starting that. I've started the brand already, but I'm working on the website and all the back admin stuff. So it'll be coming out soon, Workhorse Apparel.
I can't wait to see it. And we, of course, just want to give you a shout out for your What's Your Forte Foundation. You have a new program called Finding Your Forte. It's all about investing in equitable economic advancement for youth and families through purposeful relationships. So we're very excited about that and all that you do. So everybody check that out and check out Workhorse Apparel. I'm going to have to get me some.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on, and I'll send you a care package.
Amazing. Maybe we can go kayaking in the Chicago River sometime soon. Give my best to Danielle. Give my best to your family. You're the best, Matt. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good job.
We shouldn't roll the Nico bump. We should roll me and we have footage, I think, of me and you going down the river in Chicago. We do have the young receiver on the show after this. Very excited. The Texans stud receiver, Nico Collins, on the program. There it is. This was a dream. This was the craziest day of my life. We'll be back on Up and Adams. Matt Forte, everybody. Oh, excuse me. There he is, Mr. Let's get this right. not like one would be enough. 2 touchdowns, 168 receiving yards against the Steelers. Pop off, Nico.
Got to.
Let's talk about this. I know it's only week 5, but you're breaking out,
Yes,
baby.
ma'am.
You're averaging over 100 yards a game. Year 3, you're on lists with names like Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, who's crushing it so far. Do you know that you only need 54 more yards to best your career highs, and it's week 5?
Oh, yeah. I kind of know. I already know. Like, I already knew coming to the season what my goal was and what my mindset was coming to the season and what, you know, my mindset was. And I know, like, these last couple of years wasn't the years I wanted, you know, for myself. And so I know I'm just head down, you know, one foot in front of the other, just stacking days, just continue to work on my craft and thanking God every day.
What was that mindset? What was the mindset? And thank God every day. And then
for sure.
what does it feel like to have that sort of work and come to fruition?
Man, it's a wonderful feeling, man. You know, just grinding in the off season, OTAs, camp, man, and just putting your grind in and watching it, you know, showcase on Sundays and showcasing, you know, just during practice, you know, just seeing all the hard work you putting in. And it's starting to pay off, but it's not done yet. You know, I feel like I'm still chasing, you know, small details on my end and continue to ball out, you know, for the team. Sure.
Well, you work on the small details. The headline is crazy touchdowns. You had your first 100-yard game. You're in year 3. So like you're saying, thank God. First of all, thank God for your health. You're healthy.
Yeah.
You've been battling some injuries, of course. Thank God for DeMeco Ryans. Thank God for C.J. Stroud. In your opinion, what has been the biggest difference maker in this year 3 breakout?
Man, I just feel like it's new energy in the building, new vibes, man. You know, I feel like it's a building full of people that's willing to, you know, come in and not have the 2 seasons we had these previous years, man. Just losing, you know, nobody want that feeling again. So I feel like, man, we got a lot of people in this building, man, with a chip on their shoulder. You know, a lot of dogs that's willing to, you know, leave it all out there on the field for one another, and just having fun. You know, I feel like that's the main thing with football, man. You just gotta have fun. You know, you gotta bring the energy, man. It's contagious. You know, for the team to pick up the juice, man, and just go out and have fun, man. And I feel like that's what we're doing right now, for sure.
Nico, speaking of energy, my producer Marissa and I, we will watch your DeMeco Ryans pressers. We watch the post game. Yeah. I don't play for the team, and I want to run through a wall for this man. Like speaking of energy, setting the tone. What is your relationship like with DeMeco?
Man, it's real tight, man. You could tell, you know, DeMeco, he's a player's coach. You know, that's a guy that sat in these seats, sat in our seats before that played, you know, for the Texans. You know, I was a captain for the Texans. And so he know what it takes to win, you know, and it's a reason why he harps about the small details, harps about, you know, finishing in plays, you know, going full speed during the week, because it shows on Sunday. And, you know, and you can just tell his enthusiasm, his energy, man. Like, he bring the juice. You know, even when it's 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, that first team mean everybody's sleepy. You know, he coming in cheesing, juiced up, and everybody looking at him like, Coach, it's 6 in the morning, it's early. But I don't care. You know, let's get going. And I feel like that's the thing we need. You know, is like I said, man, the energy is contagious. You know, is once you feel the energy, man, you got no choice but to buy in. You know, and I feel like that's what we're doing right now.
It makes me so happy.
Yes, man.
Yeah, it makes me so happy to hear that with the Texans. It's amazing. Should we give some love to Bobby Slowick, who nobody really is talking about him, but should we give him love or should we keep him quiet so he doesn't start getting calls from teams?
It doesn't matter. I feel like Bobby's a silent assassin. You know, he don't really say much, but he'll dice you up, man. You know, he'll dial some stuff up, man. You know, Bobby, he's a great offensive coordinator, man. He put guys in situation, you know, playmakers, position to make plays and get the ball. You know, and I feel like each week we just continue to grow as a team, you know, as offense, and just continue to, you know, find the small things, you know, we need to work on, and we attack those every single day in practice. And I feel like it's just going to get better and better for every single person, you know, in the squad.
What's the most impressive thing about C.J. Stroud?
Everything. ball placement, man, his IQ, his reading the defenses, you know, moving defenders with his eyes, you know, just so because he knows where he's going with the ball, but if the defender right there, you know, just showing the defender, you know, where not to go, you know, just you would tell like he bring that it factor with him, you know, ever since we drafted him, man, you could tell, you know, he got that dog with him, you know, you'll run through a wall for CJ, sure, man, you know, this dude's gonna leave it all out there for you, you know, and we will do the same for him.
You're a Michigan man.
Oh yeah,
so
go Blue.
Were you excited to hear his name called on draft night? Be honest.
I mean, I was. Oh yeah, I was. You know, I don't really care about the rivalries. You know, it is what it is. It's over with now. You know, that was my time. My time was then. But you know, once he came, once we drafted him, man, once we knew he was gonna be the quarterback, man, I was excited. You know, I was juiced up. You know, I knew what type of dude he was and what type of guy we was gonna bring, you know, into the building, man, and it's showing. You know, and it's only gonna get better for everybody, man. And we like I said, we just continue to grow with each other and just continue to build chemistry, you know, with everybody.
I was looking at some numbers. By the way, I think C.J. Stroud's going to run away with Offensive Rookie of the Year. But I'm looking at Tank Dell, second behind Puka Nacua in receiving yards by a rookie. I love a duo. I love an emerging duo. You two are breaking out. What makes you two work, and what's the secret behind the chemistry there outside of soft shell tacos?
Yes, well, I just feel like, man, it comes down to just the work we've been putting in OTAs, camp, and, you know, just spending time out, you know, after practice, you know, just getting reps down that we didn't get during practice, you know, just getting, you know, just the timing down pat, the chemistry. It's not just with me and Tank, you know, it's with the, you know, the rest of the receivers, Robert, you know, Mitch, Noah, whoever's, you know, just need that rep on the tight end. Got to be dog. You know, Brevin, you know, who's ever, you know, up, you know, we spend time after practice, just getting those reps down pat, you know, so on Sunday, we're not even thinking, we're just rolling. But man, it's great to have Tank, you know, part of the shooting room, man. It's a great switch up because you don't know who to stop. You know, me, him, Tank, Robert, Mitch. You know, you got Zay, you got Noah. Man, it's just dogs everywhere. You know, dudes that playmakers all over the field. You know, that's willing to leave it all out there for one another.
I love to hear that, and I'm looking at how do you stop them and how does Atlanta stop you? That's your matchup this week, but let's not sleep on them. That they're a better team. Their defense. They have a top 5 passing defense. Jesse Bates out there doing his thing. What's the tape showing you?
Oh yeah, you know, we know Atlanta got some dogs in the secondary. You know, you got Akudo, you got AJ Terrell, you got Bates, secondary safety. You know, we got a couple linebackers, D ends. You know, we know, you know, coming into this game what type of game it's going to be. You know, it's going to be all 4 quarters. It's going to be a dog game. You know, leave it all out there. But, you know, we're going to continue to watch film. You know, continue to do a scouting report. Trust our details. Continue to practice every day. And get ready for Sunday. Got to.
If you guys win this one, the Texans will have a winning record, my friend Nico, for the first time in 748 days since week 1 in 2021. I hope it happens for you. Good luck. You sound like
I appreciate it.
you're 3 years in. You got the whole world ahead of you. Good luck. Let it rip.
That's most definitely. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
This feels like the right music. I like this music. This NFL season, Smaroff's helping get fans ready for game day. We have a delicious lineup of signature football-themed cocktails. And guess what? Smaroff's getting FanDuel fans more ways to win with the Smaroff number 21 Sunday Primetime Cocktail Pick'em. Whew, that's a mouthful. Get a mouthful of Smaroff 21, guys. Now, and every single week through the Super Bowl, head over to FanDuel.com/Smaroff. You will answer 7 cocktail-themed questions, and they're all about the Sunday night situation. So, with that, you get a free shot at $10K in prizes. That sounds pretty good. Hemi, you're always thirsty for a completion Cosmo. What do we got? Here's the question of the week. And these are fun. Head on over, guys, to FanDuel.com/Smaroff for this. Which quarterback will complete more passes on Sunday night? Ooh, this is what they have. Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott? I'm going to go first here and jump you, even though that's rude, and you should be going first. But I'm going to go Dak. The Cowboys have gotten the short passing game going with this, what do they call it? French toast offense, Texas coast offense. Sure. Dak is averaging 28 completions per game over the last 3 weeks. Niners secondary, we've talked about it a lot with stats with you, but Niners secondary, one little spot you can sort of boop, 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 get at. So I think that's great. While the quarterback battle is going to be fascinating, we got Micah Parsons stuff to get to. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'm going to go with Brock here. I think Shanahan didn't really let him open things up in that playoff game last year. I think he's earned more trust, and I think we're going to see him air it out a little bit against the Cowboys, or at least try to.
All right, the quarterback battle is fascinating. Micah Parsons, like I was going to say, seems to be a bit of a key. The Cowboys are going to need all these dudes at full strength. We'll see how it goes between Purdy, McCaffrey. Where's our boy Debo in all of this? Guys, get over to FanDuel.com/Smaroff for the Completion Cosmo question of the week. All right, we had quite a show. Nico Collins, loved that interview. I don't think I've ever gotten to meet him before. I'm pretty sure that I hadn't. So I wish I had met him before. I don't like meeting guys when they're like stringing together 100-yard seasons and like Pro Bowl vibes. But he is humble as ever. 3rd year there. We appreciate Daniel Jones. We wish him luck against the Dolphins. Matt Forte, a legend. And of course, rest in peace to the legend, Dick Butkus. Have a good weekend, guys. Be safe. Spread joy.